This is the Royals POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Royals POSTCAST here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, and I'm here to bring you reaction to every single Royals game the rest of the way. You can follow me on Twitter or X at Chance Liebau. That is right by my name tag here on the live stream. And if you cannot make a show live, if you're not here live, if you're listening after the fact or watching after the fact, you can catch these episodes live you can catch these episodes on demand wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's Apple Music, Spotify, all of those things. You can always catch us on demand after the fact. I want to say thank you guys for making Locked On Royals podcast or the Royals POSTCAST your first listen of the day. Before we get started, remember to subscribe to the channel. Turn on our notifications so that you get an alert whenever we go live. We appreciate you guys for joining the show live. Feel free to join the live chat and let me know your thoughts on the game, and I'll do my best to respond to your comments. If you guys are in the chat and you guys are listening right now, I am in I'm in a odd location right now. I'm in my grandma's office of a family reunion right now because Dak is out doing his personal life, and I've got stuff going on in my personal life, so wanted to at least attempt. If the audio is bad or if there's buffering or anything on my end, please let me know in the comments so I can make an adjustment if there's one necessary. But yeah, this is obviously not the way we wanted to come to you guys today after a dreadful Royals win, or a dreadful Royals loss, as they fall today 3-1. Looks really bad for a long time. The Royals managed just 3 hits in the entire game, 6 base runners in total. Just not enough today from the offense. So just not enough from the offense today. But let's get into it. This will probably be a shorter edition because I've obviously got some stuff going on here with my family. So we'll just get right into it. Here is what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I mean, this was probably the game that the Royals, and I've already seen some people in the comments, Brent coming in and saying not too convincing for the front office, I'm guessing. This is probably the loss that solidifies them as selling off their rental pieces, guys like Seth Lugo and Michael Lorenzen. I know that Lorenzen's on the injured list right now, but they've at least hinted towards an August return, so that means his season is not over, so a team could at least buy low, kind of like the Danny Duffy trade late in his Royals career. I think the Royals could get, a quadruple A guy. I mean, they could. What did they get? They got Nelson Velasquez a couple years ago for pretty much nothing. Pennies on the dollar. Jose Cuas netted them Nelson Velasquez, who was solid for 1 second half and then a month of the first half, or first month of the first half of 2024. But I think that this loss probably solidifies them as sellers. It solidifies them as not. Seth Lugo is probably not going to be on the team on August 1st. I'd be surprised if Lorenzen was. And those are probably the two that I would say definitely get moved off of, and then they try to add pieces as hitters. Jack and I have talked about it ad nauseum. This team probably adds pieces for the second half and beyond, like adds pieces for a 2026 run. So I would assume that's going to be the case with. I would assume that's going to be the case with this team. That this was just a really bad loss. I mean, I'm not going to crap on Cal Quantrill, but came into today with really no numbers whatsoever. I mean, he was not great this season. He has an ERA of 5.24 after 6 shutting. I mean, he was not great coming in, and we've seen it multiple times this season on guys that are not playing well, pitching well, coming in and doing really well against the Royals. And today that just seemed to happen with Cal Quantrill, who obviously has some familiarity with the Royals, and some Royals have familiarity with him with his time from Cleveland. So obviously there's that. But I just the at-bats were uncompetitive. Lots of pop-ups today, ground out flyouts. Quantrill got 9 ground outs, 4 flyouts. The Royals had 6 outs in the air all game, and that's not. And they had 5 strikeouts. So of your 27 outs in the game, only 6 of them were in the air. I mean, balls that are. I just think that's kind of what you have to look for if you're a team that wants to hit well. put the ball in the air, put the ball up for something good to happen. Not very much good can happen when the ball's in the ground. So the Royals just offensively did not have a very good game plan. I get it. Quantrill's a bowling ball sinker guy. He's going to get weak contact. He's going to get guys out early in counts, going to get pop-ups, going to get groundouts. That's who he is as a pitcher. The Royals have to adjust their approach a little bit. And I'm not saying that they had a bad approach, but this is time and time again that we've seen it from Royals players and Royals hitters where they just don't do enough at the dish against guys that just throw bowling balls, throw sinkers. I mean, this was a really really bad day today for the Royals offense, saved by Salvi getting grooved like 96 right down Main Street. That made the game at least. You kind of had the inkling that the Royals might get a win, but that definitely wasn't going to happen after what we saw from them, in the eighth inning. But man, just bad offense from the Royals. 3 hits, 6 base runners in total. They only got 3 base runners in total against Kyle Quantrill. Or sorry, maybe they got 2. I think they got 2 base runners against Quantrill. Yeah, 2 base runners, no walks. I mean, he only threw 69 pitches in 6 innings and was in the zone for a lot of them. So just a bad outing for the Royals offense, and a tale of a team that has done that continuously this season. They just can't seem to get out of their own way at the plate. The approaches weren't good. They get Tolbert picked off early. I mean, I've said it time and time and again. I'm not a huge Tyler Tolbert fan. He's not a good base runner. I get it. He's fast. The base running, you kind of feel that he's going to put you in a better position because he's fast, but he's just not a good base runner. He's not a smart base runner. I'm kind of tired of seeing him in the lineup. I don't know. I'm tired of seeing a lot of the guys in the lineup, and a guy that hit 2 homers yesterday is one of those guys. So I think maybe I should keep my mouth shut. But just another bad day for the offense. I don't think the lineup was very competitive today. The 9 that they threw out there. I mean, you throw out Tolbert in center field, and I get it. He went 1 for 2, but he's non-competitive. John Rave 0 for 2. Freddie went 0 for 3. He's kind of scuffling. But just a non-competitive lineup when you don't have a guy like Jack Caglione in there who, can, and while he's struggling right now, definitely a batting average under 200. At least he's, striking some fear into the opposing pitchers because he's at least a bat that can challenge you and take you deep. But bad day for the offense today. There's no other way to slice it. This was the game that I think that pushed them to be sellers at the deadline, pushed them to say, okay, this team as currently constructed is not a playoff team or a team that can even win in the postseason, compete with playoff teams. And I get it. Somebody brought it up on Twitter, and I think in the live chat yesterday, the Marlins are playing really good baseball right now. Understandable. But I don't think, not everybody plays good or plays well for the entire season. They're going to have that come to a close. The Royals know that more than anybody. They went 15-2 and have been dog water since. So just a bad day offensively once again. I was with my family and they're like, "Oh, don't you have to do this Royals postcast?" And I was, watching the game on my iPad out there. And I was like, I mean, what do I need to watch for? It's the same story with every game. That was joking, of course, but it really feels like it. The offense underperforms. They don't do well against sinker ballers, and the result came from today. Wacha was fine, but just not enough from the offense as usual for the Royals. All right, we're going to hit our first break, and then when we come back, I'll talk about Lucas Erceg's outing. And just kind of the bullpen as a whole, because I was not impressed by the bullpen. And I'll tell you why when we come back on the Royals postcast. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You are already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburnt at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and it makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. It was a rough day for the Lucas Erceg should be the closer fans. Not very many of those today in the chat. I know that a lot of people were clamoring for Carlos Estevez's job as the ninth inning guy. understandable after he's had a couple bad outings, but Lucas Erceg was bad today. There's no other way you could say it. He was not good. The command was awful. 3 walks, 2 hits allowed, and even John Schreiber was bad today. I mean, this was a really bad outing for the Royals bullpen as a whole. 2 high leverage guys that the Royals use in those kind of spots, and they just didn't do enough for the Royals to win. Just really bad outings for the bullpen in back-to-back games. Honestly, since the road trip, the bullpen hasn't been great at all. And say what you want, but I mean, Lucas Erceg is not perfect. He's not Wade Davis. He is probably the closest thing the Royals have had to Wade Davis since him. But yeah, just a bad outing. Command was way off. Giving up hard contact, stuff we don't usually see from Lucas Erceg happened today, and that led them to fall. When the offense doesn't provide enough, when the offense is unable to really do anything, a bullpen guy giving up 2 earned in the 8th is going to hurt you. Even against a Marlins team that hasn't really pitched that well this season, and I mean that in a bad way. I mean, they have pitched horribly this season, and the Royals have not really done anything of note offensively outside of John Rave and Adam Frazier, 2 guys that are borderline, if not below, replacement level players. So just a really bad day for the bullpen after an awful day yesterday by Carlos Estevez. I think that this is it. I think the Royals, while they did go out and get Adam Frazier, they're 47-52, 5 games under. I just don't see them keeping Seth Lugo. I don't see them keeping Michael Lorenzen. Maybe they keep Lorenzen just to have some rotational depth going into the month of August, because we don't know when Cole Reagans is going to be back. That's still an unknown. So I would imagine that Seth Lugo gets traded. I would encourage it because he's far and away their best trade piece, and I think he could net them something that any of the other guys on the roster really can't. The Royals don't have very many positive trade pieces on the roster. Seth Lugo is the most valuable guy for them, and I think they should trade him because you give yourself, kind of like the Tigers did with Jack Flaherty last year. I know the Tigers made the playoffs, but even if the Tigers didn't make the playoffs, I'm more of a process over results guy, because process breeds consistency, results breed complacency. That's my opinion. It's kind of my thesis statement in life. Process is most important. Well, the Tigers made the playoffs last year and then re-signed Jack Flaherty, who they traded away. The results are great. The results are eye-popping, but the process is where it was located. That was what was most important, was the process. They were able to trade a guy and re-sign him. The process was smart. They didn't know they were going to make the playoffs. They didn't have that in their cards. I'm not sure anybody in the Tigers organization could have seen that second half run coming. Maybe the Royals can do that. I don't think so, especially not with this lineup. What the Royals can do is trade Seth Lugo for an impact bat for the 2026 team, or a guy that can at least be impactful at some point in 27 or 28 when the Royals need to build around the core of Bobby Witt Jr., Michael Garcia, and Jack Caglione. So my opinion is that if you feel confident you can re-sign Seth Lugo, then if you love something, let it go, and if it really was meant to be, they'll come back to you. So I feel like that's the take I would go with Seth Lugo. I like him. I think he's a great pitcher. I think he's a Royal lifer. But now you're at the point where it makes too much sense to trade him and capitalize, because the offense definitely needs a jolt, and it's not coming from AAA. We've seen that with guys like John Rave and Jack Caglione and Nick Lofton, who have crushed it in AAA and just have not cut it at the major league level. They need to at least add somebody so that they're not going into 2026 relying on marginal improvements from guys like the guys that I just mentioned, those AAA guys. You're not relying on those improvements, so you can have an opportunity to compete in 2026 in a year where I think the Royals should be able to compete and where they should be looking to compete. All right, let's get to some comments before I get out of here. I appreciate you guys for joining me and battling through this mediocre audio and video. Yeah, like Brent said, not too convincing for the front office. Pretty rough. DJ saying if we're 5 games under at the deadline, we need to sell. It would be stupid to buy and not capitalize on the return you get for Lugo, India, Fermin, etc. I draw the line at India and Fermin. Who are you replacing those guys with? You can say Luke Maile all you want. You're a liar. You can say Carter Jensen all you want. It's too soon. And Jonathan India is a guy that everybody that listens to this postcast knows I'm a big Jonathan India fan. And I would not move him for anything. I mean, not anything. I mean, there would have to be a significant package that I don't think he would get, because you're selling him at his worst value of his entire career. But yeah, this is Wacha was not bad. Thank you, Cam, for the well wishes. Thank you, Argenis, for the well wishes. Um, Chris saying Count dominated his entire career, ERA over 5. How do we not scratch across? I mean, honestly, it's kind of like the Ty France thing. Ty France kills the Royals but can't hit against anybody else. It's just one of those things. Um, yeah, offense is so bad. Terrible starting pitching shuts us down. Um, yeah, I mean, JJ's decision seems to be easier, but JJ's also very hard-headed, and I think that he's going to feel like he can compete, and maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah, DJ saying I was optimistic about this team on Thursday. After the past 2 days has been diminished, if we get swept, I'm looking forward to Chiefs training camp and only scoreboard watch. Um, yeah, I mean, if that's how you want to view it, I still care about this team. I mean, obviously, I'm still going to be doing this. I get paid to do this, so I'll be here. I'll care about them. Lugo to the A's for Rooker and Jin. Why? Why would the A's make that trade? That's stupid. Apologies, not a stupid comment. Just doesn't make any sense. Luca Tresh is good in AAA. Fermin would get good value back. Yeah, but also Freddie Fermin it has the best glove in the organization at catcher. Salvi's not going to catch forever. And we've also seen guys come up from AAA and just perform horribly. I'm not going to rely on anybody's AAA stats to show me what their value is. But I do agree that Luca Tresh is probably the guy that would get the call if Freddie were to get traded. But I don't see that happening. I see them waiting for the offseason to trade Freddie. You don't see catchers get traded very often. When I was on Jack's podcast talking with him on the regular show, I mentioned that kind of like quarterbacks, you don't really see them get traded in the middle of the season. It's hard for them to adjust with a new pitching staff, adjust to a new game plan, new pitching coach. So I personally don't see Freddie getting traded in the middle of the season. I see that being more of a winter move after the season, so they at least get a full half of the season with Carter Jensen before they like half of the season in AAA for Carter Jensen before they really push him into the limelight next season. All right, I'm going to wrap things up because this has run a little bit long and I got to go back to the family. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and battling with me here. It'll be back to a regular show tomorrow. I'll be back in my casa doing the show from my apartment. So looking forward to being back there. Thank you guys for making the Locked On Royals podcast or the Royals postcast your first listen of the day. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with another edition of the Royals postcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm Chance Liebau. This has been the Locked On Royals postcast.